as you can see, my dish is empty. So Tim, CHANTARANGSU.
CHANTARANGSU. What's up, y'all? Tim CHANTARANGSU here, and we are eating while broke.
So much for feeding me today.
Of course, thanks for having me. I'm excited for you to try my little recipe here.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay, do you eat a lot of instant noodles?
I think everyone that has been broke before has lived and died by the instant noodle. Matter of fact, if you're not a chef in ramen or instant noodles, then you probably weren't broke enough.
I think we've all had some version of this, right? Yes. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people, they're so used to this, they don't even know about, like, the real-ass ramen that you get at, like, the Japanese spots, you know?
Really? I feel like now the real ramen has become so popular.
True. But I still run into people who are like, why would you pay $15 for something you get for $1.99? You know, like, they don't know about the real stuff.
They definitely don't know. So what are the ingredients you have for us today?
Okay, so we got some mama noodles, which are a Thai version of, like, ramen noodles, okay? And then we got some corn, which I just like to throw in everything. We got some scallions, some green onions, some hot dogs, some eggs, and some peanut butter. And some sriracha, of course.
Yes.
All right, so.
Oh, wow. This is how I challenge to know if someone's really broke. Because if they just do a straight ramen dish, I'm like, you haven't eaten ramen enough until you've tweaked it.
You got to tweak and finesse in your own way, I think, especially with the peanut butter. That was my dad's thing. That was something he got me doing when I was a little kid, so.
Okay.
All right?
I'm excited.
All right, well, let's do it.
Let's do it. When was the last time you ate this dish?
Man, probably, I probably just made this probably like a month ago. Just, you know, when I'm at the house, just like, and we don't feel like just cooking or ordering food, and, you know, you can't go wrong, you know?
But do you make it as fancy as this? Because I feel like this is kind of fancy.
I mean, I'll throw some hot dogs or some, I mean, now that I got a little, you know, I always have some,
protein?
Wifey doesn't like using the hot dogs, so I try to throw a little like ground chicken in there for her, or something a little healthier. Let me just throw these packets in.
And just so you know, I've never actually heard of the mama
noodles.
Yeah, I've always heard of just one type of noodle, and then all of a sudden you threw this name at me. And then I was just like, oh, and now I realize there's like a whole bunch of different types of noodles.
Mama noodles are the Thai equivalent of ramen noodles. And, you know, like I said, my mom always likes using the Thai products because they're just better than everything else. That's what she said. And I wasn't making a joke. That's literally like just what my mom said. So
these have like a better flavor, you think?
Yeah, different flavor. I like the texture of it. Can you handle spicy?
I can handle. Okay. I mean, we can. We're gonna try and hang because you'd be surprised on this show what I've eaten. I actually had a jail meal last week, which was very interesting. So this is gonna be my official meal of the day.
Oh, really? Okay, let's get it. I'm excited to make this for you. Okay. Did you ever do this? Just eat these raw.
I actually did on the last episode.
On the last episode?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Oh man.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
It's a great snack. And also, when it mixes with the hot water in your stomach, they expand so you get full.
Oh.
You know what
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about that. So tell me a little bit about yourself, like your upbringing, because I feel like we see you, you know, as a comedian, as a rapper, and we don't really get to see that other side of like what life was like for you growing up and how you broke into the industry, because I'm sure you had quite a bit of hurdles. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, if we're talking about eating while broke, you know, my family was definitely broke. We were just, you know, I grew up on like the east side of Long Beach. We had just one bedroom apartment, and my mom was a cook at like a casino, just wherever she could get cooking jobs, you know, because she just loved cooking. That was her thing. And my dad was doing like welding jobs in LA. And one of my main real like motivators for trying to get on and become like successful in the whatever business I was in is because I wanted to you know, take care of my parents and pay back my parents for all the times like they had to work, because my mom was always working like super late nights, and you know, she had like at one point she had like 2 jobs. She was working at 2 different restaurants. And one thing that I will say is that even though we were like broke, and we didn't necessarily have a lot of money for like fancy ingredients, my mom always made sure that like the food was tasty, you know, like because she was like a cook, you know, like so usually, ideally, she wasn't using hot dogs. She liked to use like some ground pork or something like that. That was her thing. The hot dogs is I just really like hot dogs. So I think I just kind of asked my parents to make it with hot dogs a lot as a youngin'. And yeah, so my goal, I told them growing up that like, you know, with this entertainment stuff, I know it sounds crazy and I know it seems like it's pointless, right? But I told them, I was like, watch, one day I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to pay you guys this house off. I'm going to, like, take care of you guys. And we moved to a house in Paramount when I was 10. And eventually we got to a point where I was able to pay off the house, right? And
but this is after you made it on.
This is way after. This is after a bunch of stuff.
How long would you say your grind was before you were able to buy them the house?
So I was originally just trying to be an actor, like doing like TV, movies and stuff like that, like auditioning, but I felt like back when I first started, there was really no opportunities for Asian dudes specifically. There wasn't a whole lot of things I could audition for.
Yeah.
Especially being like trying to just portray a regular ass person and not like a nerd or a kung fu dude, you know? So I started auditioning for stuff, but it wasn't working out. So then I found YouTube back in like 2006. No one was really creating any type of content on YouTube yet. It was brand new. So then I thought, I'm gonna show you what to do with the egg, right? So what we do with the egg
I've been dying to know this.
So what we do with the egg is, all right, so we're just gonna throw that in there. And then what happens is,
here, you can put it on that plate over there.
Okay, cool. What happens is, the boiling water is gonna cook that egg up, all right?
Oh wow! And do you break the yolk in there?
Yeah. I'm gonna break it up in here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so watch.
I've never, ever in my life seen this.
Yeah, so
this is very entertaining.
This is something my mom and a lot of like Asian people do, like with like rice soup. They'll like just bust an egg in there, and the heat from the soup will cook the egg, and then you break it up, and then it adds a nice little like different texture to the flavor and like consistency to the broth, I think, you know?
Nice.
All right. So, started making YouTube videos because I thought, okay, this might be a good way to get into to just kind of put my face out there to see if something could happen through just me trying to, you know, just put myself out there, you know? So I started doing little stupid videos like freestyling and like just doing impressions just to make my MySpace friends laugh, you know. Okay. And then
dang, I ain't heard of MySpace in so long.
Yeah, I know. This is how far back it goes, right? And so once I really started to gain an audience on YouTube, I thought, okay, this might be a thing, because back then, you know, I felt like there was no place for especially like Asian entertainers to really do our thing, you know what I'm saying? So there was such like an audience online that was like, oh wow, I've never seen an Asian dude like being funny or singing or rapping. Yeah. I started to build like an audience, you know, like it was a lot of kids that were like, oh, okay, he looks like me. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. And people who had never seen an Asian dude like just being like funny before were like, oh, this is weird. I'm gonna watch, right? And after doing my thing on YouTube for some time, I built like a pretty strong audience, and then I was presented with the opportunity to audition for Wild 'N Out, and I got on that show, and I was on Wild 'N Out for like 6 years, 8 seasons maybe, and you know, it's opened up a lot of opportunities, the YouTube stuff, the Wild 'N Out. So yeah, I got to a point where I was able to pay off my family's house, which was dope for me, because like once I gave my parents the check for the house, my mom was like, finally I can take a break, you know, and I was like, oh mom. I know.
Were you like crying or did
how
did it feel?
I was happy because I filmed the whole thing and I was happy. Like my mom cried, my dad was like, oh, I knew you could do it, blah blah blah.
Wow.
But I didn't get emotional until she said that. You know, that's when I was like, oh, Mom. You know, because I mean that's why I did it at the end of the day. You know, because I wanted them to feel like they could take a break. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, that must have been crazy.
It was crazy, especially, you know, after like years of like, I'm throwing corn in there just because I really like corn.
No, do you? I want to try your dish.
And
I love corn, by the way. That's my favorite vegetable.
Corn is my shit.
Yo, people always check me like, corn isn't healthy. It gives you no nutrients. And I'm like, I don't care. I
love corn, and I love like all like versions of corn. Like I love popcorn. I love the elote from the elotero man.
Oh,
man.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when I see them on the street,
Yes.
I will bust a straight U-turn, dig in my car.
I say that all the time. Because it's like it's almost like you're lucky if you see them on the street. You're like, oh shit. Okay, so here's the thing with the peanut butter, okay? Mm-hmm. So Thai people, you know, we're big on curry, right?
Yeah.
A lot of curry is like peanut based. So my dad, whenever he was making these noodles for me, he would throw in some peanut butter because he felt like the peanut butter kind of like, you know, added a little something to it, and also was similar to like a curry taste. Right? Okay. So I'm gonna just throw this in there.
Is that too much peanut butter, or is that enough?
We're just gonna throw the whole thing in there.
Okay, go.
See what happens.
So
I don't know if I've ever added this much peanut butter. Oh. But I figure, you know, let's make it so you can really get this peanut butter, you know?
Exactly. It's going to be protein. It looks great.
You don't like this. All right.
It looks delicious. And look, you can see the egg turn into egg.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So this is a whole, watch. This is you're gonna start throwing your egg in some soup after this, I'm telling you.
I can see that.
All right, let me see.
So did your parents ever have some doubt and say, like, you should go to school or something?
Yeah, you know, I mean, my whole life when I was, like, pursuing the whole entertainment stuff, like, they always said like, okay, yeah, we know this is what you love, this is what you want to do, but also, you know, make sure you get your degree, you know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my degree, blah blah blah. Yeah. And that was always the goal, that I was gonna go back and finish and get my degree, right? But it got to a point where I kind of had to balance both things, you know, and I was having trouble balancing like college and like the different shows that were popping up and the different shoots I had to do. So I eventually, like, I took a semester off, and then I took another semester off, and then I took, like, a year off, and then I eventually just never went back, you know?
Do they ever mention it?
Well...
Because, well, now you could have checked for their house. They're like, we don't care what you do, right?
I was just going to say, like, I mean, my mom, one time, she was like, you're going to go back and get your degree, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, Mom, you really want me to finish my degree? Or you want me to keep paying for your shit? And she was like, okay. Never mind. But the thing about it is, I knew they kind of, I think at the end of the day, you know, Asian parents, even though, like, you know, traditionally they want you to be like a doctor or finish school at least, I think they just really want you to have security, you know what I'm saying? They want to make sure I'm taken care of. And I think once they realized that it was legit, and it was really something I was like making money off of and I could live off of, then they took it seriously, you know? All parents kind of brag to their friends about what their kids do, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember my dad used to be like, oh, you know, my son, he majors in this and this and that. And he also does these little like videos with his friends, right? But then I remember one day he was like, yeah, you know, my son's famous on YouTube. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, he gets it. He gets it now. Here's I've got a little portion for you.
Yay!
I got some green onions on there just to have them.
I feel like little peanuts should be at the top of this.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually.
Right?
Throw some little... How you like these?
Look at that. This is looking official.
Just a little...
I feel like I should... just take a couple?
Yeah.
I'll take all your little...
Yeah, it's cool.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I should have a phone on this set and just be able to take pictures of the dish.
Man!
Because some of these are plated. Look how nice it's plated. Y'all can't see this, but it's plated really good.
They can't see this.
It's plated really great, guys. This looks delicious, and it didn't take long to make.
Nah, not at all. You know, instant.
And this was really affordable, too.
I mean...
It was like a couple bucks.
I mean, yeah, you know, when you're broke, you gotta make do with what you got.
This is good broke eating, though.
All right, I'm gonna let you get the first bite.
Everyone's doing that to me lately. You take the first bite. It's hot. Mm-hmm. It's extremely hot. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a point in your career where you felt like you weren't gonna make it? Or like, was there like a hurdle that you thought, I may need to do a U-turn?
You know what? Oh, you can really. There's a lot of peanut butter in there.
Very good.
You like that? Mm-hmm. It's not bad, right? Mm-mm. I'm gonna just throw a little sriracha in mine just because.
The flavoring on this is like restaurant quality.
Dude.
Like I would totally pay like $20 for this dish.
And that's what they do. The gentrification of some instant noodles. Now, just playing.
So what was that point?
You know what? Here's the thing, right? I've never felt discouraged like that because for me, I always looked at it as just something I really had to work towards. And if I ever, like, I'm still not where I want to be, you know, because I still feel like I have a lot of work to do still. I was never at a point where I felt like, man, I'm not, like, I'm failing at this, right? Because I felt like as long as I kept making baby steps towards what I was doing, then I was going in the right direction, you know? So I feel like as long as I just keep working and keep grinding, I was going to be all right, you know?
What would you say is the hardest milestone you've had to hit in your career so far?
I feel like, you know, I think that a lot of people will get discouraged when you get, like, rejected, right? When you're going on auditions and you don't get the part that you wanted. Like, I've literally had, like, 5 different movies that were supposed to be, like, built around me. Like, people were like, all right, we're going to India, we shooting this movie. Oh, we got this movie, oh, J. Cole's going to be in it. We the one we want you for.
Yeah.
Like, multiple different projects that have just fizzled away and fell flat, you know? I think, you know, when you're younger, you know, I got a lot of people, of course, like me, like, especially with me doing the rap stuff as well, like, you know, people would start, they would be laughing before I even started rapping, you know, especially, like, when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? You trying to rap? And then, but I think it's like, you can't let stuff like that keep you from going after what you want, you know? Because there's always going to be somebody, like, talking shit or making you feel stupid or making you, or telling you that, like, you can't do it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point? I feel like life is too short to worry about what other people think about you and what you want to do, you know?
When I see people like yourself or Cardi B or people that, like, transcend, like, you know, go against the norm or the tradition, there's a certain level of value and appreciation because by you doing that, you just opened a door, a crack in a window for someone else to come through. So I do know what you're talking about, like when they were like, at one point, I remember like if you saw an Asian character, it was just karate or and there were these very small, you know, roles similar to like, you know, what blacks had to go through too. But when you're able to break through that barrier, it's like, did you have anybody ever approach you like, dude, if it wasn't for you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, you know, especially since in the beginning of my YouTube videos, I was giving a lot of relationship advice to like teenagers. And I felt like it was a lot of young Asian dudes who had no type of role model or they didn't really have anybody they could talk to that were writing me letters and asking me for advice just on how to be confident, how to approach girls, whatever. So I get a lot of kids that come up to me like, yo, man, started watching you when I was in junior high, just graduated college, you helped me get through high school, this and that. So that's dope for me because the main reason I got into it was because I didn't see anybody that looked like me that I could look up to, you know? And my old stage name, Timothy De La Ghetto, is actually from an old episode of The Fresh Prince. And because I was a big like Fresh Prince fan.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, of course, right? And I remember watching The Fresh Prince, and there was an episode where Carlton's tux like shrank at the cleaners or whatever. So he needed another tux to go to the dance, so we had to get a last minute like baby blue, little corny tux, right? And there was this group of nerds that walked up, and one nerd, this Asian dude, was like, hey, Carlton, nice tux. And I remember thinking, damn, this is the first time I've ever seen an Asian dude on The Fresh Prince, or even on TV, like, ever, right? And I remember thinking, like, if this is how the rest of the world, like, if you don't know any Asian people, and you just love The Fresh Prince, this is the first time you see an Asian dude, this is your only perception of Asian dudes, right? And I just remember thinking, like, man, that's not me, and that's not, like, anybody I know, and I need to get out there and just rep for my peoples, you know? So. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Why did you decide to, like, switch your name back?
You know, it was a combination of things. Like, the quarantine kind of had me, like, thinking about life, right? And thinking about like, I was like, yo, if I got corona and died, like right now, like I don't know if I want people to remember me by this like YouTube name I came up with, you know, like, and in the grand scheme of things, if I see myself like accepting awards and getting like Academy Awards and stuff, I don't want to be like, oh, what's up? This is my silly name, my internet name. I'm Timothy De La Ghetto. I was like, let me. I was thinking about just like my legacy as a person, and if my whole MO also is to make Asian dudes proud, let me fully embrace my long ass Thai last name.
Yeah.
And because originally like you kind of think I need a Hollywood name because like Hollywood's not going to be able to pronounce my name, right? But then I was like, man, if Arnold Schwarzenegger can
very good point.
Yeah, I'm like, if I actually see myself being at the level that I want to be, then people will have to know my name, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me change it up, go back to my government name, and not only like just have a more like professional sounding name, but also represent for my people and for my dad, and just kind of like fully be proud of that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So I know you're like a foodie, just like myself. But you did something that I thought was pretty kind of.
Sup?
It was kind of questionable. I couldn't even watch it fully.
Oh.
But you think I know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah, I do.
All right, you guess it.
You talking about when I ate my wife's placenta?
Yes, I was just like, a part of me would feel like, man, this man loves me. But another part of me is like, yo, if we were on a desert island, he would maybe eat me.
Well, that's the thing about it is I didn't do it out of love for her at all. I just wanted to do it. So.
But it was, like, how do you tell the hospital, hey, by the way, can you put that placenta in a freezer chest? I'd like to take it home and cook it.
I asked beforehand. I was like, how, if I want to take this placenta, how you guys feel about that? Because the placenta just gets thrown away if no one wants it.
But it looked like a steak.
So
I thought placenta was like a liquid in a tube or something.
No. Placenta is, and it's in there right now too. You got one in there floating around. It's an organ that develops while you're pregnant. To help feed the baby, but also suck out like bad things.
Yeah.
All right. And it's like it basically looks like a pancake organ situation.
Yeah.
And so after you give birth, you're gonna push that out. And the hospital just was like, yeah, you can take it, you gotta bring your own cooler. So I bought a little igloo cooler, and I was like, can I have some ice? So one of the nurse ladies brought me some ice, put it in the cooler, and then they put the placenta in a little plastic bag for me, and I threw it in the cooler.
So, like, while she was pushing, you were like, hey, be careful with that placenta.
Hey.
Don't waste that.
Make sure you get that placenta. Don't let it hit the ground.
So behind the scenes, I have to dig. In Wild 'N Out, you guys all have to write your own, or do you battle it out and then you go to the stage?
No. What happens is they'll tell you who's gonna be on the other team. And some people definitely go in like with some jokes ready. I'll have a couple jokes in the back of my mind sometimes, but if anything, right before we shoot the Wild Style, which is where we actually battle, you kind of are just like looking up and down at everybody on that team, like, all right, who's about this? What can I say about this person? And sometimes people mess up and they'll come up to me and be like, hey, I got bars for you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, cool. No, I'm like, all right, cool. And in my head, I'm like, oh man, you just fucked up. Because then I'm like, all right, I know what I'm about to say. I'm like, okay, let me look at his fit. Let me look at his hair. All right,
So if someone was trying to be in your position, going from eating while broke, literally, and becoming the best chef at eating while broke. This may be my favorite dish on the show.
Woo! Let's go.
To getting to your seat and your position in the entertainment business and breaking tradition, what advice would you give them?
I look at it like this. Oh, you want to hear something cool?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, of
so
course.
People always ask me, they're like, yo, how does it feel? How do you feel to be living your dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them, like, here's the thing is I never looked at what I do as a dream, right? Because I feel like a dream is something that seems real far away, like not real. You know what I'm saying? Like a dream is like I'm flying.
Like a fantasy.
Yeah, and I never looked at it like that. I look at my goals more like a destination, all right? Because a destination is something you know is there.
Yeah.
You just gotta keep on heading towards it.
Oh, I
you know what I'm
like
saying?
that.
Like, and you might not go the same way you thought you had to go. Like, you might have to pivot and go take different detours. But if you keep on moving forward towards that destination, you'll get there. So that's
love
how.
that.
Yeah, right. That's tight, right? I made that.
That's hella tight. Did you just come up with that?
No. I've been saying that for years. So
Yeah.
So I always tell people, like, you got to look at your goals as a destination, not a dream, because a dream is like unrealistic. But a destination, it's there. As long as you keep working towards it, you'll get there. You know.
So how long was your road trip to your destination? Would you say?
Man, you know what? I feel like I'm still on the journey. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like
You're still on the road trip.
still on the road trip, and I'm enjoying the ride. It's come with its fun pit stops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just continuing the road trip, and I feel like I still got work to do as far as like where I want to be, but it's been good.
Yeah, it's been good. And thank you so much for feeding me.
You're welcome. I'm glad you liked it.
The second this taping stops, I'm going to be slurping this. It tastes so good. You should have made more.
Damn, we still got more in here.
Oh, well, we're going to have to use it for later. Anyways, I'm Colleen Witt, and this is Tim. And you say your last name because I'm not getting made fun of today.
CHANTARANGSU. You'll get it.
CHANTARANGSU.
There you go.
I did it perfectly. On another episode of Eating While Broke, and I don't know what I'd call this dish, but I think delicious would be it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, eating while broke on a budget, but making it taste great. Thanks, guys.